Hello, welcome to the assessment. My name is Mallory and I will be filling out your form today. I see that you filled out your confidentiality form and thank you for doing that. Before we get started, there are a couple of things I have to go over. First is that this is a safe place and everything that we talk about is completely confidential between us. However, if you tell me that you're harming yourself, or if someone else is harming you, or if there's any child abuse or child neglect going on, I legally have to report it. So as long as we are both on the same page about that, I can move forward. All right. Well, tell me what brought you in here today.
So I came in because my daughter is in a mental institution, and I wanted to learn more about what was going on with her, as well as kind of learn more about what I've done as a mom that's wrong. I tried to do the best I can, but clearly I couldn't help her, even though I tried. And so I'm just wanting to learn more about that and kind of understand what happened there.
Well, I think that's completely normal for a parent to feel that way about their child. So I hope you find comfort in at least that. But can you tell me a little bit more about your daughter? Do you have any other children?
I have a daughter, Maxine, who's 22, and she lives with me. And my daughter, Frankie, who's in the institution, excuse me, she lives at the mental institution, and she has something going on with her personalities. I'm not really sure. And that's where she is, and she's kind of always had her issues, but I never knew it would be this severe.
Okay. Well, so you have two daughters, Frankie and Maxine. So what would you say your relationship is like with Maxine versus Frankie, with all of the things going on with Frankie?
Maxine lives with me, and Maxine has always been a pretty jealous child. She always really looked at what Frankie was doing and how I was treating Frankie, and she's very spiteful and can be hateful to Frankie, always wanting to see the worst in her. But she has always been there with me and lives with me, and I love her. She's my daughter. She just can be a little tough to handle. Frankie has always been fun-loving, and she has her spells and times where she gets really agitated, but for the most part, she just needed some help. Like, she's just needed a little guidance more than Maxine, but she has also moved out of the house, and before getting put in the institution was working at a telephone company and going to night school, and it seemed like she had a lot of things going for her. So that's, I think, some of my confusion comes from.
Okay. Could you help me understand a little bit better what Frankie's spells and agitations are?
She would get like angry outbursts, like she gave me a necklace and she decided she wanted that necklace back, and she got a little angry and really wanted it back, and I should have given it to her quicker, but I didn't, and she kind of grabbed it from my neck. So just things like that. She used to get in trouble when she was younger, doing some things she shouldn't be doing with different boys and people that lived near us.
Okay. Well, what does your home life look like with Maxine? I know you mentioned Frankie doesn't live with you. She lives on her own, but it sounds like she does come and visit you sometimes. So what does your home life look like with Maxine?
I usually try to take care of the house and take care of things going on there. She works, and so I just take care of the house and try to see Frankie as much as I can, and try to make things so she wants to come home, but she doesn't always. Wish I could see her more.
Yeah. Well, that's definitely hard for a parent to live far away from their child. that is good that you have one living with you.
Mm-hmm.
That is comforting. So what would you say your social life looks like? Do you have a job nearby?
I do not work. I'm retired, but I go to church 3 times a week and do things there.
Okay, that's great. What is your job history?
I worked as a maid for a long time in a home with another family, and my girls lived there, and I lived there as well. And so it was kind of difficult juggling both of those, and that's when Frankie got into some trouble.
Okay. Well, can you tell me how old your daughters are?
30 and 32.
Okay. And with them being at that age, do they have children? Are they married?
They are not married. Frankie had a child, but that child passed on.
Oh, I'm very sorry to hear that.
Mm-hmm.
And what about you? Are you married?
No. I used to be, but my husband passed as well.
I'm very sorry to hear that. Well, with everything that you've told me about your family and your home life, let's talk a little bit about medical things in your family. Like for you, do you have any prior diagnosis?
As far as mental health, I am not sure. I've never been to a therapist before. Like I said, this is something new for our family, and I don't think that anyone prior to my daughter has been in therapy, so I'm not sure if there's been any mental health issues.
Okay. All right. So, as far as we know, there's no known mental issues with you or Maxine or anyone else in your family tree, and we are still learning some more about Frankie, and maybe some more answers will unfold with our time spent in here. Well, I would love to talk about some of your strengths, some things that we could build off of as we continue working together. From what I can tell, one of the first strengths is you coming in here on your own will. I think that's very important for it to be your choice, and I think that is a strength that you carry. I also think that your love and care for your daughters is very obvious and true, and I think that is another great strength that is going to help you build healthy relationships with the both of them, especially Frankie during this difficult time with her. And lastly, I think one of your strengths is willing to work towards some goals, and that's something that I want to talk with you about. If there was any goal that you thought of when you decided to come in here.
I think just wanting to learn more about my daughter and just have a place where I can kind of talk about some of the things going on, since it's something I've never really dealt with before, and I'm kind of confused as to what's going on.
Okay. Well, I've got a couple of things that we could probably do to get started after this session, actually, if you're interested in it.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, one of the things would be starting a journal. And for this week, it would just be one journal entry. And you could write in it whatever you desire, whatever is on your mind. It could be related to Frankie, or it could be related just to personal struggles going on with you. It could be something that's going on between you and Maxine. It could be anything you want it to be, just one entry. And you would bring it in here, and we would discuss your entry. Or you could create a timeline between your relationship with your daughter, with Frankie, since that's one of the main reasons why you decided to come in. And this timeline would just show your relationship as early on to now. That way we could walk through it and have a better understanding of what's going on. Do you think that either one of these options are something that you're interested in?
Yeah, I think I could do either one, or maybe both. They seem like things that could be very helpful.
Okay, great. Well, let's plan on bringing in one or both of those goals next week for our next appointment. And if there's any questions that you have for me, please let me know.
Okay.
And I will see you next week.
Thank you.
Thank you for coming in.